I guess I'll just go ahead and start. I'm excited to be here and share this information with you guys. This is information I usually reserve for my corporate clients and my private clients, but so many of us are understanding now that our animals are being affected by everything that's going on now. So it's really just so helpful in deepening our connection with our pets to understand that the same healing we do for ourselves, we also do for our animals. 7 cats. Oh, amazing. You are a cat mama. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. So we are definitely going to leave some time at the end to take questions, specific questions about things. And as you guys join, please let me know what kind of animals you have. So I'm just going to Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for having an animal loving, compassionate heart, taking in 7 cats. That's beautiful. I'm just going to say, let me know what pets you have. Amazing. Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, I've always loved animals, but it's not like when I was a kid, I had animals talking to me or anything. My connection with animals kind of crept up on me. And a lot of it has to do with my work at the Gentle Barn, with working with rescued barnyard animals there. So, like I was saying, so the same work that I do for people, I also do with pets. I balance their chakras. I clear past life trauma for them. I'm attuned to animal Reiki, and I work with cats and dogs, and also horses and pigs and cows and chickens and goats and an emu and a llama at the Gentle Barn. One of the most beautiful sessions I ever had was with a chicken named Mario, and I went to connect to his energy, and it was like my hands were just pushed outward. He just had the biggest, most beautiful heart I'd ever experienced, and that was really a life-changing moment for me. There are a lot of alternative therapies available for animals, more than even I know. Some are becoming more mainstream, like acupuncture and massage therapy, but sound therapy is amazing for animals. Reiki, energy work, what I do. There are certain essential oils that are really great for animals. There are some poisonous ones too, so make sure that you research that before you use essential oils with animals. And also flower essences. I almost always recommend a flower essence blend when I have animal clients, particularly older animal clients. And if you are familiar with flower essences, they are distilled flower petals mixed with some kind of carrier, usually alcohol, and they're safe. They're all safe for babies. They're all safe for animals, and they work on even a more subtle vibrational level than essential oils do. And they're only taken internally, and they are good for emotional and spiritual discordance, but they're not used for topically or for more physical ailments like essential oils are. So they're really great for animals, and when you spray them for animals, they're good for their humans too. So, and like I was saying when we started, right, super crazy time. We know that, that's no secret. But our animals are intuitive, and they're really sensitive to your energy. So if there's tension at home, however you find you are handling our current situation, you better believe that your pet is feeling that too. And just like stress and anxiety can affect our physical health, stress and anxiety can affect the physical health of our animals. Our animals experience grief and loneliness and love and boredom and friskiness, all of the same emotions that we experience. And understanding this is really, really, really important if you have rescue animals. And it's important to know that animals are always communicating with us. There's this really incredible animal healer named Joan Ranquet that I've been blessed to know through my work at the Gentle Barn. And she says, you think that you decided to give your animal a treat. No, they told you that you wanted to give them a treat. So today I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the chakra system and how it affects your pets. So those of you who may have come to my classes with Bene Mudra may have already know some of this information and or know it from your own studies. And it's just important to know that it also applies to animals. So just real quick, the chakras are energetic centers along your spine that control every area of your life, from your immunity to your spiritual health. Variations of the chakra system have been used in Eastern medicine and practices for centuries, still used in hospitals today. So when these energy centers are blocked or overactive, we experience physical and emotional distress. The same is true of animals. So some healers will tell you different things like, oh, animals only have 5 chakras or 4 chakras or whatever. Sure, if they have found that to be true, then that is true for their work. I have found that mammals have the same 7 major chakras that humans have. Birds also have a chakra system, but they have fewer chakras. And other animals, amphibians and reptiles, they have even fewer chakras, but they still have them. They still have energy centers. So we're going to start with the root chakra, and this whole course should just be about 30 minutes. The root chakra at the base of your animal's spine controls their basic needs. So when animals are fearful that they aren't safe, or that their food is going to be taken away from them, or that there's not going to be enough food, they can develop blocks in this energy center. And we're going to talk about what do blocks look like. So if your animal has a block in the root chakra, what does that mean? Oh, yes, hand rub for animals. Amazing. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about the power of sound healing, which I'm sure you already know. I don't know if anyone has brought sound bowls to those animals, but animals are, yes, please do it. They'll love it. They'll love it. They'll love it. So if your animal has anxiety or fear, so a lot of rescue animals too, they can experience pain in their back legs or paws. This can be bone, this can be nerve or muscle damage, it can be a lesion, anything at all that is less than healthy in the back legs. This area includes the tail and the bottom vertebrae of the spine. So if there is an issue with constipation, this can be addressed by root chakra healing. Also, if your animal has a compromised immune system, that also starts in the root chakra. So when our pets feel anxiety or fear, their foundation is shaken. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we learned that our basic needs need to be met before we can begin any other sort of evolution, right? So if animals are afraid that they are in danger, they will never really be able to enjoy their lives with you. And when they are overly aggressive, that means that the energy in the root chakra is hyperactive. Now, some people are going back to work, and so after spending so much time with their animals, there can be some separation anxiety, like it's all related. So what can we do? What can we do for our animals? Of course, you can always take them to a healer, but there is a lot that you can also do on your own. Talk to your animals, reassure them, tell them it's okay. If you're leaving the house, if this is an issue for you, leave something behind that smells like you when you have to leave for a long period of time. A shirt, a stuffed animal, a pillowcase. Animals respond to that. And keep soothing music on for them. Animals love music. Classical, jazz, sound bowls, solfeggio frequencies are great. You know, there are dogs out there who love country music and who love heavy metal, but generally speaking, less lyrics are better. But each animal is different. I had a session once with a dog, and her owner wanted me, we were talking about leaving some music on for her, and she wanted to ask me, well, does he like Frank Sinatra? And I was like, who doesn't like Frank Sinatra? Of course this dog is going to like Frank Sinatra. And it was like zero interest, could not care less about Old Blue Eyes. So, and that's when I was like, is it like a lyric thing kind of? And most animals prefer less lyrics because in their opinion, it kind of dumbs it down because they communicate telepathically. right? Which we'll talk about a little bit later too. So feeding your animals on time is really great because structure gives security to animals. Just like it gives security to children, it also gives security to animals. As you scratch their hindquarters, as you pet their legs, you can envision red healing light pouring out of your hands and into them. That's another option. So that is the root chakra. So now we're going to look at the sacral chakra, the second chakra, and it encompasses the hips and the sex organs. So if your dog is humping a lot, or so that would be a hyperactive sacral chakra, or conversely, if your animal seems really lethargic, it could be because their sacral chakra is blocked and they are no longer enjoying the pleasures of life. The sacral chakra, which is orange, is also the space of emotion. And just like people, animals feel emotions in this energy center. So the sacral chakra is about pleasure and creativity and abundance and emotion. And so this is true for all animals too. And people, if we have a blocked sacral chakra, we would want to have things that smell good and that make us feel sensual and that make us enjoy this earthly existence. And the same is true for animals. So negatively in the sacral chakra, we can feel emotions like shame. That lives here and can affect this area. So there is a goat that I work with at the Gentle Barn named Lulu. Hello, Captain. Let me know what kind of animals you have. Thanks for joining us. So Lulu, the goat, has an enlarged udder and no one knows why. It's like some kind of hormone imbalance, but nobody knows why it is. Lulu is also a lesbian goat, which apparently is very common or not uncommon in goats. So, and when I went into it, and I haven't worked with her as much as I would like, but there is like some sort of sexual shame tied up in there, which surprised no one more than me, but it is true. So, her issue with these enlarged udders is there's, a lot of stuff tied up in there, particularly when your animals have physical ailments that you can't seem to get to the bottom of. Definitely some energetic healing is in order, and probably some past life healing too. So animals, this is another big one. Animals who have had babies taken away from them may have blocks in this space. So being around baby animals is healing for a pet in need of sacral chakra activation. Water. The element of this sacral chakra is water, so being around it or even just the sounds of it can be really healing. Hi, Ginger. So when animals who've had trauma involving water can block this energy center. There are animals who've had past life experiences of being drowned or present life experiences of someone trying to drown them. That, like it would for a person, is going to fuck up your animal a little bit. And so there, like a little bit of clearing may be in order. So now we're going to go to the solar plexus. This is one you may have heard of. This is in the core, the center, right? On animals, this includes the mid-back and the digestive system. So if there's any issues at all with the digestive tract, look here. This is also where animals experience confidence and self-esteem. And if you have a really timid or shy animal, this would be a space to look at to boost too. So the first thing to look at always, if I have an animal who has some issues with digestion, is to examine their diet. There can be a lot of toxins and preservatives in animal food, so I encourage you to talk to your vets and do your own research. And give them treats. Just give them yummy, yummy treats that are good for them. Our pets are good babies, and they are in our lives to open our hearts and to bring us joy. So yeah, just don't be afraid to go liberal with the treats is what I say. We don't want them to get spoiled, but they deserve them. So bonus tip about diet: if you sprinkle nutritional yeast on your animal's food, the fleas will keep away. If you have outdoor cats specifically, this is really great. Tried and true, Michigan girl here, outdoor cats growing up, never, ever, 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 ever have a problem with fleas. If you just sprinkle some nutritional yeast on there, animals get used to it, and it's a lifesaver. So let's say your animal is really timid, or if you have a small dog who seems to overly confidently think they are a big dog, make sure they are getting plenty of exercise. Long walks, hikes, dog parks, whatever. Physical movement gets the solar plexus into alignment. And this chakra is yellow. And with all of these, you can sit with your pet and pet them and imagine these colors flowing from you into your pet. This is basically Reiki. And animals really respond to that. You can have fun with your pet, and this is actually a really great way to more deeply connect with your pet, is ask them what color they would like. Ask them which chakra needs healing. And the first color that comes into your mind, that's it. And your animal, if you have a positive relationship with them, will communicate to you and will see this as an act of love. They understand Reiki, healing, anything you do, anything holistic you take them to. Animals understand that as an act of love, and they appreciate it. So if your animal is particularly territorial, take a look at all three of these lower chakras. So now we're going to move up to the heart, the Anahata heart chakra. This chakra is green or pink, and it controls the heart. If your animal has a heart murmur, you really want to amplify this space. And the heart chakra controls circulation as well, right? The heart pumps blood throughout the body. The lungs are here, the upper back, the front legs, and also the shoulder joints. When animals grieve, just like when people grieve, they feel it here. At the gentle barn, sometimes the calves don't make it if they were born in slaughterhouses, and those mama cows cry and they mourn. So if an animal's owner dies, if another pet dies that they were close to, just offer all of the love and affection that you possibly can. Animals, if they have the right conditions, just like if a person has the right conditions, that grief will process naturally as it is supposed to. And we want to make sure that they get all the support that they need to allow for that to happen. If you have dogs who have tumors or other forms of cancer, wherever the tumor or the cancer is located, and those of you who are on, let me know what kind of pets you have. Would love to know. So give me a little note. So anywhere the cancer or the tumor is located is an indication of where some energy healing would be helpful. And know also that Reiki and these other modalities do not interfere with any medications. They actually enhance the amount of the medication that the body can absorb and allow the body to use it in a more optimal way. Dogs or cats who are lonely during the day are affected in the heart space. So just do your best to make the space as soothing and comfortable as possible for them. For a person, I would say paint the wall green or pink, but dogs don't see color in the same way that we do. So let your dog just shower you with love when you get home. Let it be a special moment every day when you come home and your dog gets to reconnect with you. Think of it as if your child were stuck at home. What would you do for them when you returned? You would want to make sure to give them some really special attention. Also, cats don't show oftentimes as much affection as dogs, but they have just as strong of a loyalty to their owners. So all of this applies, even if your cat doesn't rush at you the second you come home. So next we're going to look at the throat chakra. Amazing. Yep. Fantastic. Absolutely possible. Just as if, just as if they were a person, and you're so smart to realize it's holistic. There really is there's hardly ever one answer, one cure to anything. So yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. Would love to talk to you more about that afterwards. but you're on the right track, and there's 100% that you can get that under control using those things. So we're going to look at the throat chakra real quick, which I'm also getting for your dog is important because the throat chakra controls the thyroid. What we haven't talked about is the connection between the glands and the chakras, and dogs and cats have a very similar, almost identical endocrine system as people. He looks like a pup, so yeah. He's an old soul, your dog. A really old soul. And as our souls get older, they actually become more youthful, because we understand that play and fun is actually what life is all about. So it makes sense that he still looks and probably acts like, has like a puppy-like energy. I love that. Yes, he was. Just once. But absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Our pets find us. Our pets make sure that they find us. Yes, so you are totally on about that. And if that's something you ever want to look more into, let me know. So the root chakra controls the adrenal glands. So animals who feel really anxious, right, gets out of control. We got to bring it back into alignment. So here we have, and then there's one all the way up, but we're going to the throat, which controls the thyroid. So if you have an animal who barks excessively or who never bark or make noise, like weirdly never make noise, this is a place to look. This chakra is blue. This chakra also controls the vertebrae of the neck, the teeth, which can be a very big issue with our pets. In Chinese medicine, they believe there are energy meridians that go down from the teeth into each one of our organs. So if there is an issue with a particular tooth, you can actually trace it to the organs that it is connected to. So also the tongue, the jaw, and the ears. We talked about how sensitive animals are to sounds. Ginger, I don't know if you're still on here, but Ginger had a really sweet dog that I was working with who has now transitioned, and we worked with her for several weeks as she was preparing for her transition. And when she passed, she was so free, and it was a really, really beautiful experience to work with her. And I'm so grateful. She taught me a lot. And one of the things that I learned from her is how, as we are in this time, how sensitive animals are to the ear chakra. So we have secondary energetic centers in our ears, and they represent how we hear messages from the divine. If we have a clairaudience, our sense of clairaudience, which is when we may literally hear voices, that is directly related to our ear chakra. Also, there is balance controlled here because of the effect of the inner ear on our physical structure. So this sweet dog, her bed was in the living room where the dad in the house would watch the news and get very heated. And what we found is that this was affecting this dog's ear chakras. And so, sometimes there's only so much you can do, but it just means to do whatever you can. If you find, if you're in a space where the news is on, or if there's arguments, that's going to affect your animals. And it's just important to maybe put on some soothing music for them to help balance it out when you can. So just know that the music you play, the media you consume, the words you say, your animal picks up on all of that. It's really helpful to think of your animals as either a human child, teenager, adult, or elder. Children, puppies, kittens, they just want to play, and they're learning how to relate to the world. They're learning boundaries, And then teenagers test those boundaries and can be rebellious. Adults are a little more relaxed, but they may have developed deep grudges by this point that can be more difficult to tame. And elder animals should be treated with the same gentleness and compassion that we treat our grandparents with. I find that a lot of animals come to me who are preparing for their transition, and I always think about my grandmother in the years before she passed. And, you know, she wanted to eat steak and peanut butter M&Ms and hot fudge sundaes. And, you know, like, girl deserved it, right? She was 80 years old. I mean, fuck it, right? So it's really, as our animals are older, we have to consider treating them like we have an elder in the house. I'm just reading this beautiful message that you have. I had a vision that my dog was my son and he was sick, so I want to cure him this time. I'm getting that's very close. Like, that's not entirely it, but you're very close. I'm going to see if I can... This wasn't your last experience together, but not your last life. And it is only these two soul experiences you've had together. Yes, well, that explains why your dog is so old too. I mean, he's had experiences of being human, and, you know, which obviously expanded his consciousness. He did die young. Yeah, anyway, I don't think there's any more I can get to it right now, but that is absolutely something that we will, that we can look at and examine and clear and release and offer some healing to. Absolutely. I would love to. Yeah. So I wanted to tell another little story about a cat named Mukti. And Mukti was my friend's cat, and she went to clip his nails. He got very upset, ran away, and then spent a couple days really not coming home, staying out late, was very mad at her. And she called me, said, "What can I do?" And so we went in and we looked it to see what was going on. And it turned out that Mukti really thought he was going to be human this time around. And he was very upset that he was a cat. Although the reason he had to be incarnated into this form was because he needed to learn how to have dignity in any form. Something was triggered when she cut his nails. He felt like he wasn't being respected, and it was also a past life trigger. And then he was acting like a rebellious teenager. In the age of his soul, he was a teenager. He was rebelling. He was staying out late and not coming home and being sassy and giving mom the cold shoulder. So when we went in and did some clearing and said, you know, Lauren loves you. She's taking care of you. What can I clear for you? You're safe. You're loved. We're clearing away this last stuff so you can be a human in your next incarnation. And by the next day, he was back with her. And she texted me and she said, "My Mukti's back." So, yeah. And we have instincts about our animals. You're so right. And that if you have that strongly, no, you're 100% right. So proper dental care can be a way to express love for your animals and keep the energy activated there, and providing a space for them to feel like their full, loving, weird little selves. So now we're going to go to the third eye in the forehead. Yes, animals have one too. It is in this space that allows them to communicate with you and other animals. When we see birds flying in a V, that's because they are communicating with their third eye. I was just in New Mexico, which is the land of the hummingbirds, and I was watching this one hummingbird, one of those alpha hummingbirds, and I was like, I wonder if I can sort of ask about the soul of this hummingbird. And that hummingbird was a very old soul and had no interest in being a human. It is more likely that the animals that I deal with like either want to or they have been, but some animals are not interested. And this animal was this little hummingbird was one of them, which I thought was so interesting. So, yes, so the third eye is the space where humans experience clairvoyance, telepathy, and if this or the final chakra, we'll talk about the crown chakra, are blocked, your animal can be depressed, have epilepsy, or other problems with the brain and nervous system. You'll see on my Instagram yesterday, I did some healing for a goat at the Gentle Barn and who contracted polio. He's an older goat and he's been having seizures and has lost his eyesight, which we think with proper healing will come back. So the first thing I did, it was like, I'm asking where the healing needs, and it was like right to the crown chakra, right at the top, the pituitary gland, that's the master gland, and the central nervous system. When seizures are an issue, that is an issue with the central nervous system that starts in the brain stem. So that is that. So yes, animals also can get in the habit of being or feeling depressed, just like people. I have a book of sacred geometry shapes that I use that are incredibly powerful, high vibrational shapes. And, there's a shape for plaintive, which is when we are in the habit of feeling sorrow. And I use that for a lot of animals. Older soul animals who've been through some trauma, like older soul people who have been through a lot of trauma, we can just start getting to the habit of feeling like things are bleak or it just seems easier to feel depressed. I mean, we've all been there, and that's the same for animals, and that can be also helped with some third eye healing. So in these chakras, so we have indigo in the third eye and purple, the crown chakra at the top of the head. So the third eye also controls the eye organs. What I also do in my sessions is organ clearing, because I have found that past life trauma attaches itself to the chakras and blocks the chakras and also specific organs, which leads us to the idea, brought to the mainstream by Louise Hay, somatization, that our emotions can deplete our organs from performing at their most optimal level. And our eye organs are no different. I got laser eye surgery early in the summer, and the healing that I did around both before, because I had so much fear going into the surgery, I was like, this is weird. Like, there's clearly some stuff here I have to look at. And you're like, oh yeah, well, my eyes have been gouged out at some point. I don't remember exactly what it was, but when we've had experiences in the Wild West and, just to use an example, but, in all different cultures, all throughout the ages, yeah, we've been through some pretty horrible stuff. But we don't want to get stuck on it, because if you get stuck on it, that's going to bring you back to a sad, low vibrational place. So what my work is about is going, oh, that happened, poof, clear you, release, take it source, I don't want it anymore, don't need it. And then it's released back into the void. We allow the lessons to be learned from that experience. So this is the same for animals and leads me back to the eyes as organs that sometimes can need clearing. So I had an initial session with an older dog client, and her human saw the film that had been over her eyes disappear. So everything has an energetic cause. Hi, Teresa. I was just thinking about you. I was going to text you after this is over and see how you were doing. So I'm so glad you could stop by. I'm going to be texting you anyway to see how you're doing. So there may be too many layers to this trauma, and we can't always get to like the root, but there is always a cause. Animals remember things they see. That is something else that can put a layer over or can hold back the root, the eye organs. Hi, Karen. Thanks for stopping by. Karen, let me know if you have pets. I don't know if you have any animals. Let me know. So I have found this with people and with animals when they have past life trauma of things, horrific things they've seen, that can cause some blockages here. So that is why animals can be triggered by a person, by men, by women, by children, by being put in a pen, by other animals. You know, we've all seen that. So we need to be sensitive and loving as we reassure our animals that they are safe and we need them. At the Gentle Barn yesterday, I had to protect myself from an alpha turkey named Romeo. Now, Romeo is an old soul, and you can tell the difference. You know, sheep generally are not old soul animals. They are, young soul people tend to stay in smaller communities. They don't have the full life experience of like as many soul incarnations as older souls have. And so they tend to kind of stay in smaller communities, which is why we see more conservative leaning towns in more rural areas and more progressive views in more densely populated areas, because younger souls tend to want to stay put. They have a little more fear because they don't have as much experience yet. Those are going to be sheep who they all stay together. The sheep at the Gentle Barn who have everything. They are still a collective and they don't really have the same, they still have personalities, but not the same kind of distinct personalities that older souls have. So turkeys, birds, many of them have very advanced consciousness. So Romeo's about the same age as that cat Muti. He's actually like a teenager. And he hates blonde women and he hates seeing legs. I wore shorts yesterday and he came after me. So that is a turkey who was betrayed by a long-legged blonde woman in another existence. It's just so funny. It's so funny. Your dogs are sad that you are working. But tell them, just make sure that you tell them, Teresa. And they know, they love you. They know they got you to themselves for a long time and now they have to share you for a little bit. But that's really sweet. So, the crown chakra in people is on the top of the heads and is where we experience faith and spirituality. Same with animals. So especially with the older animals who are getting ready to transition, it's really important we start to work with this space so that they don't fear death, so that they don't fear this transition, so that they embrace their connection to source, just like we want to embrace our connection to source. So flower essences, which we talked about, are really great for activating the crown chakra here. So I was talking about this dog, Nina, earlier, who I worked with for about 8 weeks before she made her transition. And she had always been afraid to go outside. Never would go outside to go to the bathroom, but never wanted to sniff around or really spend time outside. In maybe the 2 weeks before she transitioned, in the session, I told her humans, I said, she really wants to spend more time outside, which means that she's trusting, she's becoming more spiritually curious, she's become more confident, and she's eager to explore outside, which is also a microcosm of the bigger universal world, which she is about to explore. Okay. Abscess on her front right hoof. Yep. What? And yeah, she probably doesn't even, she doesn't, yeah, it hurts so much she doesn't even want you to touch it. I think some flower essences would be a really great place to start with her. And if you want, we can do a full 30-minute session and look into it. I also offer just little $15 mini readings. I can identify the flower essence that would be best, because you need something to calm her down immediately so that you can get in there and take care of it. Because you don't want to have to put her under to take care of it. So, so a flower essence would be really great to help to calm her down. I would have to go into kind of more of a full session to get more information of that. I'm not getting that there's any past life trauma involved, but there is resistance to healing. which we find. Which is something that we could clear. So there isn't past life trauma that resulted in this abscess, but there is a resistance to healing that is the result. And there is a resistance to being treated by humans is what I'm getting. There have been, whether probably in past life experiences for your Mustang, where, yeah, they thought they were going to be helped, and they weren't. So there's some distrust there. So keep talking to her. And I think one of the shapes too, I don't know if you heard me say, I have these sacred geometry shapes, which again, you want to kind of get it at the energetic level first, like clear away whatever vibrational crap is like right there so that we can get to a more centered place. There's a lot of just like energy for them right now. And just like we know when we're in a panicked state, we can't heal. We can't heal our ailments, our colds, our whatever it is when we feel panicked. We have to calm down first. So whatever you can do. I'm getting also sound bowls. Horses love sound bowls. You can find YouTube stuff. If you were interested in something else, I can channel something and record for you to play for them. But that would be the first step, doing whatever you can to allow them to feel calm and supported, and just tell them how much you love them and want to help them. Yeah. So I am a certified aromatherapist, and I use applied kinesiology, muscle testing, to test my which oils would be good for clients. And if you are interested in incorporating essential oils into your pet care, these are the safe ones: chamomile, frankincense, peppermint, ginger, myrrh, marjoram, and cedarwood. They're safe choices to diffuse or put them in a spray. I wouldn't apply them topically to animals. And be sure to purchase high-grade, pure oils. Oils come from the earth, so they are sensitive. It's the same with crystals. How your crystals are sourced really can affect the energy of them. So with oils, you want to make sure they're sustainably harvested, that the laborers are paid a living wage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So okay, done. I get my oils from doTERRA, Young Living, and Melaleuca. There's also, I generally make my own blends, but there is a woman in Long Beach, Path to Perfect Health, and she's like a genius biologist healer and literally extracts her own oils, and her blends are out of this world. So those are the 4 places that I buy oils from. I know that there are a lot of other smaller, companies that I don't know about, but those are the ones that I like and I trust. And so one last story, and then if anybody wants to hang out and has any other quick questions. So even though we may be trying to communicate with our animals through our minds, it doesn't mean that everything they say to us is going to be correct or enlightened or wise. So there is a horse at the Gentle Barn named Magic, and Magic is a gorgeous, gorgeous Palomino horse. Who for years has been telling Ellie, the owner of the Gentle Barn, that he wants to be in the circus, and that she needs to send him to the circus because he is too beautiful to be in a barn, and he needs to be in front of thousands. Now, she communicates with animals. Her talent is unreal. She's such an incredible person. She has an amazing book called My Gentle Barn, which if you are interested in animals, I would highly recommend you to check out. So she kept telling him, Magic, I can't send you to the circus. It doesn't work like that. They breed their own horses. But I guess he kept, and one time she even called Cirque du Soleil and was like, my horse really wants to join your circus. And they said no. So the point is that some animals have a lot to teach us. Children have a lot to teach us. So the lessons we learn from children can be the same lessons that we learn from animals in one way. I know, right? Poor Magic. But I think he's going to get his fame yet. The Gentle Barn has a lot going on for him. So I think he's going to be in front of thousands yet. That's my hope for Magic. So just know that animals, like people, you know, can't believe everything they say. So that is my little spiel. I hope that I was able to give you some really good information. You can find other videos of mine on YouTube. I have some meditations there. If anyone is interested in private sessions, let me know. I do little mini $15 downloads, or we can do full sessions for your animals. They're half-hour sessions. And then I also do sessions for people, obviously, too. So thank you so much. Oh, you are so welcome. It's my pleasure. And if anything comes up for you guys, please stay safe. Please know there is a lot of good going on in the world right now. The good that is happening in the world is not as loud as the disruption and the chaos, but it is very important to hold true to what you know, to your truth, to your infinite connection to Source. Know you are safe, know you are loved, and know that there is beauty on the other side of this. So, namaste, everyone. We'll talk soon.